So the Democrats in the Senate caved. They caved, and 8 senators, 7 Democrats, and 1 independent, Angus King, all voted with the Republicans to open up the government back up. Funds snapped for another year, open the government back up, and not reinstate ACA subsidies. So this deal, if you're getting Affordable Care Act subsidies, if you get your insurance through the Affordable Care Act exchange and the government is giving you a subsidy, let's just use round numbers. Let's say your bill's $1,000 a month and the government's paying $500 of it and you're paying $500. The $500 the government was paying, that just went away with this deal. Yep. That went away. And who voted for it? Well, 8 senators who are either not on the ballot in 2026 because they're retiring, or they're not on the ballot in 26 because they're not up for re-election until 28. Nobody who's in fear of losing their job next year. Millions of people just saw their health insurance go up because Democrats cave. And what did they get in return for their vote? Well, the government's back up, so the airlines will go back to normal. The airports will go back to normal. But they got a promise from the Senate Republicans that they'll hold a vote on extending the ACA benefits. Mike Johnson, the head of the House, doesn't give a shit about that. He's already said, we're not committed to that.
There are a lot of ideas that we'd like to bring back to the table because that will actually solve the problem and not just subsidize insurance companies.
So you're not committing to bringing up a bill that deals with the Obamacare subsidies before they expire?
I'm not committing to it or not committing to it. What I'm saying is that we do a deliberative process. That's the way this always works, and we have to have time to do that, and we will in a bipartisan fashion.
If something passes the Senate, it would only pass on a bipartisan basis.
Yeah.
Would you bring it up?
Well, the bill that's going to pass...
To extend the subsidies, that later vote.
I can't commit to anything that hasn't even passed through the Senate yet. I mean, I've never done that. I'm very consistent. I've been Speaker for over 2 years, and one of the reasons I've held the gavel is because I don't go out and predetermine outcomes. It's a member-driven institution, as it should be, and I'm really insistent about that. We got to get back to regular order, and that's what we're doing here.
President...
If I were to be somebody who was going to bet a rather large amount of money as to whether or not we were actually going to have a vote to extend ACA subsidies, I would say that we're not actually going to get one. These subsidies are going to expire. They're going to go away. Your bill is going to go up. Republicans don't give a shit about that, and Democrats collapse like a wet fucking taco. Shame on them. Shame on my Senator, Dick Durbin, who I have been trying to reach for 2 fucking days. But can't leave a voicemail and nobody's answering the phone. So shame on him. Shame on Angus King. Shame on every single Democrat that voted for this shit. Tim Kaine, shame on you. You just cost millions of people their health insurance. So that you don't have to stand in line at the airport. We are in a very fortunate position that we can absorb now. At the beginning of the year, we couldn't. But now here at the end of the year, we can. The increased cost. I can't imagine what we would be doing if we were in the same position now that we were at this time a year ago. November of 24. I can't imagine. And that's exactly what millions of people are staring down the barrel of right now. Because Democrats caved.